Sunny Banani, Dumela, Who Handed. Welcome to episode 52 of my Wurm Unlimited tutorial series. This episode is going to be on first aid and wounds, especially wounds. First aid, of course, because I will need to heal them wounds, else I'll be dying again, which is a good possibility because I'll be fighting that bear anyway, I decided. In order to be able to progress through what I want to talk about, I will need some wounds, and because it doesn't make for a good episode if I am just purely waffling. Okay, first of all though, I owe Alley Cats an apology because I said I would announce the winner of the fishing competition on December 25th. I'm very sorry, Alley Cats. I mean, after all the hard work you put in, and you obviously did, I mean, just by seeing the quality level of your fishing rod, I can see that you must have had a lot of fun in that, and that's just so wonderful and perfect because whenever I hold a competition, it's just for the fun and joy of participating in using some of the skills that are within this wonderful game. And so Alley Cats is the clear winner to the fishing contest. She had several good catches. So really well done to you. It's just so lovely to see some of you just, go all out for it. It's just brilliant. So there we go. Well done, Alley Cats. Next, a couple of episodes ago when I started these healing episodes, I asked a question which I completely and utterly forgot all about, which was, why are the guards not attacking my aggressive bear? And of course the correct answer was, which no doubt all of you realised, is because I went to my deed token and told the guards not to attack aggressive creatures. I know that I've told that to you before, so I was just seeing how observant you all are, and whether you were actually awake in the episode where I showed that. But there we go anyway, just a recap on it, because it's a very useful thing to know because I'm going to build lots of pens eventually and store all the different types of aggressive creatures. I'm going to start building up some menagerie of my own little zoo, and it'll be wonderful. So there we are, finally got around to giving you the answer. Next, some corrections to the episode where I spoke about all the different containers. So just quickly, roses are stored in a BSB, lavender is stored in a BSB, unicorn horns are stored in a USB, and acorns are stored in a USB. I got all of them wrong, so there we are, that's that mistake corrected. But thank you very much to Rainstorm, who in a comment in episode 51 done a wonderful list of all the different healing components and their containers. Really good job. Very good job. Thank you, Rainstorm. Absolutely fantastic. And last but not least, thank you to Mr. PC Guy for correcting me on rags. I mentioned before about how you can use different cloth items, and I said rags. Well, rags aren't in the game anymore. So thank you, Mr. PC Guy, for correcting me on that. That's fantastic. Right, okay. So what we're going to do, let's have a quick drink, which I normally forget to do, and food, but it's important because I don't want my stamina to be slow at regenning back up. So I'll just quickly top that up, and then we can give it a try with this bear. I was going to try different weapons, and you can see I was lucky enough to make a rare staff. So there's something about the rares. If you manage to make a rare item, leave a comment letting us all know what rare item you made. We know that Rainstorm made this supreme pickaxe, and I've made this rare staff. What rare items have you made, if any? Right, okay, let's now then accumulate some wounds to my body. Now I will keep this up so I can keep a track because I do not want to die. I'm just simply trying to get some wounds so I can demonstrate, or as I talk about this, it will make a bit more sense. There we go. So we can see I'm close enough to the bear. Now, I should hopefully start to fight. Oh, this isn't good. I don't really want to be killing him. I'm just trying to... I'm amazed. I thought I was going to get just full of wounds. But my weapon's obviously too good. I do like the mill. So let's switch to the light sword. Now, what you can also do, of course, is heal the creatures, your pets, because I don't want him to die. So I will be coming in and healing him. What I'm first going to have to do is retame him. And we're going to be talking about wounds. Good, he's starting to give me wounds. What have I got so far? So far I've got a light bruise and another light. I want to try and get a medium off him. In fact, I don't want to even attack him anymore. I really didn't think I was going to hit him that well. There, that at least stops me attacking him. I presume it's at him anyway. Let's check. Oh well, doesn't matter. Right, yeah, so look, we're getting hurt. Oops, we're going to get out this pen before I die. Okay, there we go. Right, I've definitely got enough wounds now to go through what I want to. And we've even got a bad wound. Bad wounds are serious, okay? I'm going to heal that, because if I don't, that could kill me. So let's just quickly... Now, over here, the cloth items. Just to quickly mention this, alright? I've mentioned before, but I'll mention it again. I can heal this bad wound with a cloth item and a healing cover. I'm going to go through all the different wound types and the damage that incurs in a moment. But first of all, I do need to get that bad wound down, as you would as well. If you get a bad wound or a severe wound, they, with every tick, will get worse. And I will die. So, out of the cloth items though, the best item to use is the highest quality item. And of course, that will always be your cotton. The cotton you use to make these items. So these items have a chance to be of that quality, but invariably the majority will be lower quality. So therefore, it is always best to use your cotton, because it will be the highest quality. So let's quickly try and deal with this bad wound. I won't bother with the other ones. I will just want to try and get this bad one. Notice as a wound gets more... With the more damaged wounds, your cotton bandaging will take longer to bandage. If it was a light wound, it will go very quickly. Probably take about 10 seconds to bandage. With treating, with using healing covers, you'll notice they always take longer to treat wounds, as you're going to see. But I just want to try and get that down. Right, great. Do you see what my cotton's done? It's lowered the wound to medium. And I'm going to leave it at medium. Right, now then, let's go through what I wanted to talk about. So, I'm going to start reading now, and we'll get to healing these wounds up in a second. Okay. Wounds and healing basics. Healing basics. A character can suffer wounds from many different sources. These wounds can be viewed in the character's inventory window under the body part affected by the wound. Wounds on other players, pets and creatures can be viewed by right-clicking them and choosing look and equipment, as we had a look with the bear at the beginning. And of course it's talking about this for yourself. Okay, here's more information. Wounds vary in type and severity, and each wound is calculated individually. A character who suffers 100 damage total, spread across all wounds, will die. Wounds are represented by their severity as a percentage of the player's total health. Okay, so each wound has a percentage that it's giving us. So that wound is 19, 6 and 10. Okay, carrying on. Right, okay. Wounds accumulate damage proportional to their severity. Characters have natural regeneration, which may offset the damage accumulated on each wound. When the character's regeneration is greater than the wound damage factor, the wound will heal. If the character's regeneration is equal to the wound damage factor, the wound will stabilise. Neither heal nor worsen. When the character's regeneration is less than the wound damage factor, the wound will worsen. Well, that all makes complete sense, I am hoping, to you. Right, next, the character's regeneration can be boosted through use of bandages and healing covers. It is generally better to bandage first, as the bandage may reduce the severity of the wound, making the application of healing covers easier. Damage and regeneration are calculated every 10 minutes from the time a wound is inflicted. The character's base regeneration rate is 5 damage every 5 minutes per wound. So every 10 minutes we will have 5 that's our base regeneration. You've heard me speak about it many times in these last few episodes. The base regeneration rate for us is 5, okay? And that is on each different wound. We will automatically, every 10 minutes, regenerate 5 damage. Now, because I've applied a bandage to this wound, this will also have a bonus of 1 generation. When you bandage a wound, like this one, for example, it will not only have the default 5 regeneration, it will now get an additional 1 regeneration for bandaging it. So in total, every 10 minutes, this wound will get 6 regeneration. If I apply a healing cover to this wound, dependent on the potency of the healing cover, it will then add that amount on top of the 6 that I'm already getting, so they all stack. Your base regeneration of 5, the bandaging of 1, and the amount from your healing cover will all stack and will all heal. Okay, carrying on. Bandages or farmer's salve on bruise immediately remove some damage upon application, as I've shown you there. That was a bad wound, and I managed to drop it to a medium wound. Bandages can be applied from any cotton or cloth tailoring product. Commonly used are, well, I'm not going to say rags because they're not in the game anymore. So commonly used, I'm going to say, is cotton, because that's the best one to use. But success chance is much higher with unused cotton due to the quality. Yep, well, that's just what I've told you. If the wound still exists after this, the wound becomes bandaged. So there we go. With this one, you can see it says bandaged. And another bandage may not be applied unless this wound takes damage again. So please pay note to that. If this damage was bad, still bad after I'd bandaged it, the wound would have taken more damage. I would have then been able to bandage it again. But because after bandaging it, it's turned to medium, we know that medium wounds do not worsen. They stabilised. So that's stabilised. It's going to stay where it is, just like all the rest. But the light ones, of course, are going to heal every 10 minutes. Okay, carrying on. Bandaged wounds increase the regeneration rate by 1 every 10 minutes. Yep, well, I've just told you about that. Healing covers add a specific amount of regeneration based on the potency of the healing cover applied. And oh goodness me and my notes. And the wound will become treated. Yes, so when you treat a wound, it becomes treated. Like this wound says bandaged. When I use a healing cover, it will also say treated. Examine a treated wound to determine the current potency of an applied cover. Healing covers may be replaced with a higher potency variety at any time, but do not stack in potency. I did mention that previously. So if I would use a healing potency, let's make this simple. If I used a tier 1 healing cover, which has a potency of 1, I could then use a tier 3 healing cover, which has a healing potency of 3, over that same wound, and it will then give me the healing benefits of the tier 3 cover. So there we go. I must apologise, by the way. The other day, poor Mr. Rooster died. He died because a friend came to visit this Christmas, and they gave me a present that was in the form of a very nasty cold. So the other day I was training my fighting skills, I was training my clubs, in fact, having a bit of fun with my bee laying pin. There you go, Tosh, I said it correctly, just for you, or all you nautical types. So anyway, I was feeling rough, and I did the very silly thing of left myself fighting in the pen, because I thought the bee laying pen was doing no damage. So I thought, well, Mr. Rooster will be fine. So I thought, let's just go and lie down for 1 or 2 minutes. It turned out I fell asleep, and when I come back, poor Mr. Rooster was lying deceased at my feet. I'd killed him, and I really didn't want to, but there you go. That was a foolish schoolboy error on my part. So I learnt my lesson there. Don't think that I'm going to go lie down for 1 minute, because it ends up being a couple of hours and I kill off my creatures. So poor Mr. Rooster. Anyway, right, completely lost myself now through waffling off in one direction. Let's try and recover. Okay, so healing. I've read that already. Wound severity. Yes, let's talk about that now. Wounds take 1 damage per tick for every 3 damage already accumulated. Okay, so wounds take 1 damage per tick for every 3 damage that you've taken in a wound. Okay, so damage on that light wound is 5.3 blah blah blah. How much damage, here's a question to y'all, how much damage will I take every tick for that wound? I've just told you a minute ago, but let's see how, if you're listening to me or have fallen asleep, how much damage? Let's find another wound to spice things up a bit, because that is a very easy one to answer, is it not? Okay, how much damage will I take a tick for that wound? Okay, so I'm going to carry on reading. The following is a breakdown of the wound severities. So here we go. Right, very light wounds take between 0 and 5% damage. These wounds are less than 5 damage and are healed within 1 tick. These wounds heal by themselves. Why? Because we have a base regeneration rate of 5 damage. So we heal 5 damage every 10 minutes. So that's why that will be healed, a very light wound. Light wounds take between 5 and 15% damage. These wounds take 1 to 4 damage per tick and will within 1 tick either heal or become very light. These wounds require a 1 potency healing cover. A 1 to 5 healing cover to heal in 1 tick. Oh, I hope that makes sense. Me and my silly notes. Okay. But basically, that because it takes between 1 and 4 damage per tick, and we know we regenerate 5 damage per tick, it'll heal itself, but we want to train up our first aid skill, which is here. We want to train that. You can see I've been training it already, but we want to train that because that helps with when we use a Tosh asked a good question, actually. The trouble is, I can't remember what the question was. It was to do with healing, and I wanted to answer it. I did answer it in a reply to Tosh, but I wanted to answer it for all of you to hear, which was the difference between the healing covers, their quality level and their healing potency. With a healing covers potency level, it's telling you how much of the damage it will heal. With its quality level, it's telling you the success chance of it actually healing. So if it was a 1 quality healing cover, if I try to use it to heal this wound, it's going to fail. It's, because it's too low quality. If it was a level 80, if it's a quality level 80 healing cover, when I apply it to this wound, I would like to think that it's definitely going to work. Although don't quote me on that. This is Wurm. Welcome to Wurm. It's going to slap you down every chance you can get. It gets. Okay, so carrying on. We're now on. So I just read very light and light wounds. Medium wounds. Medium wounds take between 15 and 30% damage. These wounds take 5 to 10 damage every tick. They may be stable or may become bad if not treated. These wounds require potency 1 healing cover or bandage to begin healing, and a potency 5 or greater healing cover to heal in 1 tick, because we know the tier 5 healing covers, they heal between 20 and 29, I believe, so that will easily cover that. But here you go, you see, I mean, in Wurmpedia, right, I've gathered the majority of the information from Wurmpedia, and I've added some of the information that I knew about already. But there's contradictions, contradictions abound, not just from me, but from some of the information I do read. Like, we know that I've told you already, medium wounds stabilise, they don't get worse, and yet with what I've just read to you, it's telling us they may be stable or may become bad, so may get worse, and yet it's already told us they stabilise. So there's a contradiction. So to be on the safe side, if you get a medium wound, you should always bandage it and then apply a healing cover, okay? And if it does take more damage, then you can bandage it again. So it's not really a concern. The ones to be concerned of are bad and severe. So let's now get to them. Okay, carrying on. A bad wound. Bad wounds take between 30 and 45% damage. Do you see how my nasal's starting to get blocked up? I really hope it doesn't affect the clarity of me talking to you. Anyway, and I really hope I don't start to have a runny nose. I mean, how embarrassing is that? Goodness sake. Here we go. Bad wounds take between 30 and 45% damage. These wounds take 10 to 15 damage every tick. They will never heal themselves and will become severe if not treated. These require a healing cover between 6 and 12 potency to begin healing, depending on their damage. Right, yes, so you've got to use a very good healing cover on them. Remember, I read through all the different healing covers. They start from being, well, let's show you. I've got some over here that I prepared earlier. So these healing covers, these are, if we examine them, okay, these healing covers, I will tell you now, are the tier 2s, because they say will help some against wounds. In fact, let's make this easy for myself. If I just bring it up by right clicking on it, in this little window, it tells us. So the tier 1 will help some against wounds, and my ones will help some. Oh, okay, so these are tier 1s that I've got up, that I've got here. Let's close that. These are tier 1s, okay? That's this one here, will help some. The next one down, let's examine. It will be pretty efficient. So pretty efficient is here. that's the next one. So it's telling us at the end how much damage it's going to heal. Between 1 and 5 damage, the first one will heal, the tier 1s. Between 6 and 8 damage, the tier 2s will heal. And let's see, the next one I have is this one, which is, it will be good against wounds. So that's this one here, tier 3. Will be good, and it will heal between 9 and 10 damage on the wound. Okay, so the next tier, tier 4, will be pretty good. That's between 12 and 15. The next one, tier 5, will be very good, will heal 16 damage. And the Supreme, tier 6, will heal 20 plus. Now, if I just quickly show you what I do when I go out hunting, I take my best healing covers with me, okay? Because if I'm out hunting and I get a severe or a bad wound, I want to make sure I can heal it. So if we look at this healing cover and examine it, it will be very good. So there we go, there's that one. And if I take a look at the black mushroom one and examine it, it will be supreme. So there we go. There's a pro tip for you. Take your supreme and your very goods, even your goods I'd say, always carry them with you. Keep them on your body, remember, they will never rot. When you keep them in your wagon like this, although these haven't started to rot yet, they will eventually. So there we go, bit of information, but I'm waffling and I'm running out of time. Okay, so carrying on. So that was bad wounds. Now here's severe wounds. Severe wounds give you 45% and up damage per tick. So you're going to be pushing up daisies very soon if you got a severe wound. These wounds take 15 or more damage every tick. They will kill the character if not treated. These wounds require a strong healing cover to even stabilise. So there's no point in using a healing cover on them that is less than strong. These wounds require a healing cover greater than 12 potency to begin healing at the lowest levels. Supreme healing covers 20 plus potencies recommended. Right, now what I'm going to do is give you some good stuff with regards to the wounds and the healing. This is what I was talking about under the microscope. So here is some examples of damage, base regeneration and bandaging and healing covers. Right, so excuse me, sorry, I am slowly deteriorating. I am slowly becoming worse. I have a cold and it can be deemed as a form of wound because it is slowly going to deteriorate, and I'll have to look in my cupboard to see if I have any healing covers for it. Anyway, so here we go. Here's some examples. Light wound, and it's saying that we've got 8 damage. Okay, so we are to factor in our base regeneration, which we know is 5. This wound will take 2 damage a tick, light severity, and heals, and we will heal 5 damage with our base regeneration. So the formula is, with a light wound, we have 8 damage that the bear bit me with. Okay, when the bear bit my arm, it gave me 8 damage. Plus we will have 2 damage per tick from the wound. So in total that's 8 plus 2 gives us 10 damage per tick. We are to minus 5 because that's our healing per tick. So we have 10 minus 5 equals 5 damage per tick. On the next tick, of course, that wound will be fully healed because we have 5 regeneration per tick. So even though we was left with 5 damage after a natural base regeneration healing of 5, we will heal that wound on the next tick. Okay, a medium wound, 17 damage. That's the medium wound that we're saying the bear bit me on the rear, on the leg, let's say. It bit me on the leg and gave me 17 damage. Okay, we're going to say that we're going to bandage this wound. So the wound will take... really couldn't have went at a worse time. What do I do? I will finish reading this wound and then I will finish. And here we go. Right, so medium wound, 17 damaged. 17 damage we've got from the medium wound. Oh, let's bring this up. Although I'm healing now. So, oh, look at that, how perfect. There's a medium wound, it's got 17 damage. And we're saying it's bandaged. And it is bandaged, so how fantastic is that? Right, so the wound will take 5 damage per tick. Remember, I said earlier that a wound will take 1 damage per tick for every 3 damage accumulated. So this has 17 damage. For every 3 damage, it will take 1 damage per tick, so that amounts to 5 damage per tick. So that because there's 5 3s in 17. Okay, so there we go. Now, because we've got a base regeneration of 5, plus we also get 1 heal per tick from the bandage, so that's a total of 6 healing we will have per tick. So the formula for this is we have a wound of 17 damage and we will be taking 5 damage per tick, so that's a total of 22 damage. But we're to minus 6 in healing because 5 for base regeneration, 1 for bandage. So after minusing 6 from 22, we're left with 16 damage. The wound heals slowly for 2 ticks, then becomes light. So in that scenario, because we've bandaged the medium wound, we are going to be receiving 6 base regeneration per tick. That wound is going to heal itself. There we go. Right, I have gone over the timer. I am sorry. I'm sorry for many things, of having a cold and sounding probably like some weirdo who is just talking really weird, but hey, what's new? And I've gone over time, but never mind, I'll carry on with this. Hoping you're still awake. Thank you for joining me wherever you are in the world. God bless you, and keep every single last one of you safe. Have a fantastic day. Goodbye.